Hello,
Hey!
everybody! Hi. It's Hemalayaa here.
And Amber Rosa.
We are live to you right now from Costa Rica. And we are actually right now in the process of hosting a couple of retreats. We're very, very, very honored to be here in this moment. We're taking a moment to speak to you right now because people have been asking us what the Guardianship is, and it is a program that we are just about to launch here.
Coming up just at the end of this month, we have a little kickoff on the 23rd where we will be diving into the initiation of the program, this 9-month program together.
Yeah, so we thought we would jump on with you for a moment here and share a little bit about ourselves. And I myself have been in the field of transformation and yoga and embodiment and the healing arts for about 25 years. So I came from a background of non-structure, I would say. Non-structure and kind of just like going with the flow and really learning to keep following my heart space in order to live a good life. Whereas in Amber's case,
complete opposite. I came from the corporate world and really working with a lot of structure and having to shift into spiritualpreneurship or solopreneurship, where I'm used to working with a big, huge team with very much like daily tasks and just lots of structure, to now like learning how to be in the channel, or had to learn how to be in the channel to unprogram some of that structure and to tap into what was more in my heart to come through creation and be in the creative energy more.
Yeah, and the cool thing is I've learned to flip it into the opposite because I came from so much freedom and chose not to be in institutions that, I just had such a hard time. I needed like a little bit more open space, but that didn't support with actual business and really having a pathway of transformation. So yes, I could channel and I could, do all of that. So one of the coolest things is we've come together and we're merging in facilitation. First of all, Amber came to me through a program that I was running called Embody Your Leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was really cool. And this is a time that's really different now. That's one of the things I want to say is there was a time where teachers didn't work with their students or facilitate with their students. I've worked with many teachers in the past and I've had incredible mentors. I've had the honor of actually collaborating with only maybe 2 of them because there's been such a divide, and there's the fear as a teacher of like, oh my God, I'm going to lose this person as a student, and I'm going to really I need to keep serving this person. But the truth is, when you find that opportunity, and this is part of the guardianship, and we will talk a little bit more about that, of how you can actually come into a real beautiful collaboration. So this is so cool. This is like the first, one of the first times for myself as a teacher to collaborate with a student. But now I don't even call her a student. I mean, of course I learned lots of stuff from her. But she's also become a co-facilitator with me and a co-teacher. And that's a really special thing. And it is something that does happen in the guardianship. So
yeah, it's one of the key pillars that we talk about is really intentional collaboration. And the more that Hema and I really worked together, it was, she was supporting me to unprogram the corporate world, right? And then in our talks, really understanding the strengths that we both carried from our own journeys and our lessons and our backgrounds that we came from, and recognizing that the work that we were doing was similar in very different ways, and when intentionally brought together felt really cohesive and expansive to support those coming in and wanting to shift and transition the work that they're doing right now to have more authenticity, to build a soft structure that allows the space for creativity and flow, and really integrating both of those energies in a harmonic way.
Yeah, it's so cool. So Amber was carrying all these incredible gifts. She was starting her her Reiki practice as like really sharing it with others. She had been learning it for quite some time, but she was starting to share it, and I was so taken back by her talent and her mastery of this beautiful healing art form. And I had some sessions with her also, and I was just like, wait a second. This is amazing. Like, this is so powerful, so profound. And then she came on to come to Costa Rica to embody, to serve students and groups that were coming here in the healing way.
And at the time that I first started working with Hemalayaa, I couldn't see it for myself because I was still so in the corporate mindset that I was wrapping my own head around this energetic art form, right? Like that's really kind of what energy work is. But recognizing that I had these other innate gifts that were ready to be birthed and put out into the world, and having to unprogram my mind of like, well, this isn't a career path, or this isn't a successful business model, like really working through that. And she was able to support. So in these moments, like seeing the unseen, like allowed the unseen to become seen for me in a way that I just didn't know how to wrap my head around at the time.
Yeah. And just on the other side of it, like, you know, she has also become a teacher for me too. And that's the beautiful thing, is like when we as teachers and mentors and those of us that have been in the field, it's like we can also learn from each and every student. I think we all know that. But some of the things I've been learning from Amber is that structure piece and that organizational piece, and the way how much better transformation can even get, and the business of spirituality, the business of, you know, wellness, how that can get much more enhanced. And some of these things that we now are even more collaborating on here in the Guardianship. So this is the Guardianship 3.0, first of all. So I've run the program the last few years. Is it 3.0 or 4.0? Whatever, it's one of those. But this is the 3.0, and we are in full collaboration, co-facilitation. And yeah, I want to talk a little bit about that. This year, the program is called the Guardian Sacred Leadership Training. And it's, I think if I could say it in one phrase, it would be authentic leadership. And you stepping into that authentic leadership. We find that, you know, most of our circle that comes together for the guardianship are some are overachievers in the world of like, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get this PhD, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to get this. And, you know, there's a lot of doing, and I love that. We love that. And then there's also the getting into action and getting out of the head in order to shift, you know, to real offering and sharing the gifts in the world.
And it can be really easy to get stuck in that I don't know enough yet, I'm not ready yet, especially when it's something that's coming from like your soul connection and purpose, your dharma in the world. It really can be that scary thing of like, what are you bumping up against right now that is stopping you, where you're saying, oh, I can't do it, I need another certification, or, you know, what is it? What is it that's limiting you that we help you to break through in this program as well?
Yeah. So we have a few spots left. That's kind of why we came on today. And I thought it would be fun if we could like just maybe ask a couple of questions, and that would support you all also to know a little bit more about what the program is and how we're holding it, perhaps. Okay. So.
Yeah. So one big thing that we're teaching here, and that I'd love to hear from you, is like, how can you really shift from the traditional mental head-led leadership into a style that's more heart-centered, embodied, and authentic?
Yeah, so the one way is to let go of that logical brain for a moment so that you can actually drop into the rest of the body. So one of the pathways is to get into our bodies, to be in the empowerment of the layers of the wholeness of us, versus just using this. I think in our culture, in our society, we're so used to coming from this place, we've been rewarded for utilizing our intellect and using our brains and our minds and having them be the leader. But when you can use the wholeness, embracing all aspects of ourselves, then you have access to something that now we've actually made into the program too, called the channel. Our channel is much more potent. It's connected to what your spiritual self came here to do, to be, to impart.
To anchor into this earthly realm.
Yeah, exactly. As well as like bringing it out there. So there's this both, and it's just a bigger impact. So the how is full embodiment and embracing all aspects of ourselves versus just coming from the one. So yeah, I think I want to ask Amber her question now too. Okay. Well, I would love to ask Amber what your two biggest takeaways were from the program that you took with me, the Embody Your Leadership.
Really, it was like creating ritual and spiritual practice, and activating the channel and leading from that place instead of the to-do list or the tasks or what do I feel like, what do I think that I need to do in order to make this successful, and drop in to be guided by something outside of my head. So that was huge for me, and a big shift from the corporate world as well, because everything is like, let's think harder on this. How can we make more money? How can we do these things? And it was really like, no, let me feel into this. Let me drop into my body and feel what feels true, what feels in alignment. And that was a big shift. And then the second one for me was the embodiment rituals, and I think getting into the artistry. So again, you can get really rigid and like really stuck in that structure of, okay, give me the steps. How do I start a business? Let me follow the steps. Let me do the things, but creating it as like an artistry of like, I'm creating this thing. I'm birthing this thing into reality. So let me play in that. Let me feel into like, how does this want to come out? And how does this want to be expressed? And who feels like the right people to partner with to help express it? So that was a really big part of it for me too, is like, it just, the embodiment and coming through the channel and coming through the higher wisdom and letting the surrender of the structure go a little bit, like really integrating those two parts.
Awesome. I also just heard you say the who to, I don't know if you said the word collaborate, but like I heard that in what you just shared too, is like, yeah, where to weave it, who to weave it with. And, not only are we collaborating on the level of, the work reaching the people, but also this is a collaboration. So things that, this is one of the things that we play with in the guardianship is collaborate with others. It is a time to break out of, I'm going to do everything by myself, which I did for a long time. So I did hear that. I don't know if you want to add in anything about that piece of it.
It's really like finding your special sauce. And that's a big part of what we're teaching in the guardianship, is that it's recognizing some people do work really well as solopreneurs. Some people work really well in collaboration and they feel fueled by collaboration, especially when it's with the right person that has that polarity or that balance, and the energy exchange just creates so much more energy. So it's really recognizing what's charging you up and what way of working is charging you up. And like, how do you fill those spaces, and who are the aligned and correct pieces to pull in order to keep your energetic level excited and fueled and charged about what you're creating.
Just you sharing that, one of the things that comes up too around that is, it may seem like it's the easier path, but it's actually challenging and easy at the same time, because you really become like family, right? Just I'm gonna like open up the veil for a moment. Just even right before we got on this video with you all, Amber has her way of processing and preparing herself to share. And I have my way. And so when you're in a collaboration, it's soul family. You become family, and you have then the opportunity to evolve even greater. There has been yogi teachers that have said, the highest yoga is relationship. And I really believe that, and some of us soulpreneurs, myself, I have been teaching and leading by myself for 2 decades. And so this learning now, I've been collaborating also with DTO over the last 8 years, and now with this, and now our team growing at Embody Costa Rica Retreat Center is holy woo, so much right there. So I just want to say it's not the easy route, and it's not the hardest route. It's just it is what it is. It takes work in order to be in a dynamic like this. So it's learning how to express yourself without, shutting the other person down, and then just also speaking your truth and getting what you need. So there's just so much learning and growth and evolution that happens. That's why we do call it, soulpreneurship, spiritualpreneurship, because it really is that. I don't know if you want to speak into anything like that, any of that.
Yeah, and I'll just say, when you're doing transformational work and you're a leader in transformational work, you're always on your transformational journey. So literally, when something is coming through the Dharma, when it is coming through that soul-led purpose, it's also challenging you to grow and evolve. And part of this pathway, this 9-month program, we're really allowing you to see what is in there. What is authentic to yourself? How do you pass everything from this space through the channel, through the body portal, and back out into the world? So it's learning what works for you and what doesn't work for you. It's learning boundaries. It's learning how to speak up. If you're wanting to host and facilitate retreats, there's boundaries to put in place with your participants. There's guidelines that need to be there. If you're collaborating with a facilitator, recognizing when you need personal space, you have to speak into those things in order to keep your energy. Energy master is another one of our topics in the program, but really honoring what you need to be able to show up full, authentic, and happy. So if you're working with somebody that has a different processing way, then it's hey, I'm going to continue to be in my process. You get to be in your process, and then we can drop in before we get on. And it's learning those dynamics so that everyone is feeling fulfilled. Everyone is feeling heard and seen and supported in the way that they work, and what feels true to you and how you need to work and show up in the world.
Yeah. So I hope we haven't confused you more. So in order to, not you, I just mean I just hope you understand, and maybe we'll just go a little bit deeper in this moment around, because I actually got a lot from what you just said. So I just want to pivot for a moment, just so we don't take up so much time into speaking about, what is the guardianship and what is it not, and who it's for and who it's not for. So the guardianship, what I see is it's a mentorship pathway for you to step into, for those of you who are called to bring your healing arts and wellness arts into collaboration with each other in your being, in order to then step into the world of actually presenting, leading, guiding others. I want to add anything to that.
Yeah, and those that are feeling a deeper calling from what they're currently doing, and maybe you don't have quite the vision of what that is yet, but there's something that's pulling on you to shift how you've been showing up, or to merge maybe 2 different versions of yourself and integrate them into the center. So maybe there is this spiritual side or more service-driven side that is calling to you, and you're trying to shift or integrate the perspective or perception that people have had of you in the world, that identity. And how do you integrate these two aspects of yourself into a whole?
Yeah.
In your leadership style.
Yeah. And it's for those of you who have taken programs. Maybe you're facilitating on a lighter version. Maybe you're teaching classes of some sort, yoga classes or this or that. And you are ready to up-level that. You're ready to step it up. Maybe you've envisioned yourself leading even greater numbers of people or at bigger venues, bigger events, and or retreats, really leading. We have found here that there is absolutely a beautiful opportunity to add in adventures, retreats, and these kinds of events into your business model as a healer, as a wellness provider, as a yoga teacher,
online coach,
yeah, totally, which is profitable. So that's really the pathway. This is who it is for. And we really guide you to creating transformational events and experiences for your people. And it's the front end of that, the middle part of that, and then the final workshop of it. So we actually take you through the building and the creation of a workshop, your signature workshop. And so you don't need to know what that is at this time, but that signature workshop can lead you to the rest of all of that I just said.
Totally. And it's an expandable model. So what we're teaching you is with this, like, once we have it, it's not there, right? Like, we get to be in the artistry and the creation and let it be a baby. So it gets to grow and evolve. And how do you expand on all of that over time? So it really supports you in and constantly growing, just as we're always growing and evolving. Our babies, our offerings get to grow and evolve and expand and get bigger and anchor in to support the greater collective.
Yeah, so if you've heard something here and you're feeling called or intrigued, we highly recommend that you book a call with us. We curate this group. We're calling in our last few people. We are already more than halfway full. And so we're calling in that last few to complete this circle. So if you feel like you may fit into this year, we are going to be beginning really soon here. Our doors are open until April, but now is the time to get that sorted. So reach out to us now. Book a call. It's in the comment here, and please, if you feel called, jump in now.
Get into action now.
So we can slap your butt into action as well. But yeah, we look forward to speaking to you, whether it is for this year or not. It's just, if you feel called, take the opportunity and jump in, dive in. Yeah. Thank you, Amber.
Mucho amor.
Mucho amor. We're going back to work because we've got a beautiful group here at Embody Costa Rica. We love you.
Ciao.
Ciao.